Welcome, everybody. My name is Colton, and I'm here with Brian Leeners from Sonoran Desert Copper Corp. Brian, you had your first news release of 2024 on the completion of a sampling program at the 4H project. So maybe you can go over what you guys found.
Yeah, Colton, Happy New Year's, by the way. We have a pretty good understanding of what the project presents. We like to call it 4H because people have a hard time with the name. But at 4H, you have a very large porphyry system, copper moly porphyry system. And then there are two areas that are attached to that, which are called the conglomerates. The conglomerates are made up of remobilized copper. So it's copper outside of the coming out of the porphyry system, and then settling into gravels at lower levels. So basically, gravity pulls that copper down through the process of weathering and oxidization, and that copper settles. And those areas on surface are far higher grade than the actual copper porphyry, because we believe we're fairly high up in the system at 4H. So the focus near term is in those conglomerates on soluble copper, and the near term opportunity to put that into production. So this sampling program was two parts. One was what you call confirmation assays. So we assayed old drill core, and we did new assays on the surface in the porphyry proper. And then the other focus that we did was to look at a couple of new areas, and also to do a pretty substantive sampling program within the south conglomerates, which are easy to access. The northern conglomerates are a little further away and a little harder to get to, but we just wanted to focus on the south ones first. And you can see by the numbers, we got up to 16.25%. That's exciting.
Yeah.
But what's more exciting is that the average was 1.74. And the average historical grade at Cuatro Hermanos 4H is like 0.2 copper. And that's within the context of the porphyry proper. So these grades are substantially higher than those historic grades related to that historic resource.
Yeah, and that's kind of confirming what we had talked about before of just the historical lower grade project that you guys think is probably a bit higher than it really shows. So after the sampling program, does that give you an idea where you have drill targets or what's in the upcoming plans for Sonoran?
Yeah, the actual plan is to focus on those south conglomerates. We will do a RC drill program in there, which is way cheaper than a diamond drill program. But because you're drilling with gravel, it makes more sense to use RC. We'll drill probably about 40 holes with a fairly tight spacing. We'll do metallurgy in conjunction with that. So we'll be using the core of those drill holes in order to start work on the metallurgy and the processing techniques that will be used. And because it's soluble copper, it's going to be a heap leach SXEW operation, no matter what. But we obviously need to perfect that process because every copper ore body is different. And that work will all get done in 2024. So we're quite excited. By the end of 2024, we should have in hand or have pretty close to a PEA on that potential portion of the project. And that's all outside of the actual copper moly porphyry, where the historic drilling and the historic resources. We'll do some drilling in there as well, potentially this year, but it'll be just a few holes in a connective zone between the old resource, the historic resource, and what we call the west zone. What's ironic is none of the drilling to date has really pierced the core of the porphyry or the main body of the porphyry, because they were chasing grade inside of a magmatic breccia. And that magmatic breccia system is actually where the entire resource is, that 640 million tons of 0.2 with really good moly, though. And our view is as we get closer to the center of this copper core, we're going to get more reflective grade when you come to, or higher grade when you come to a copper core and a porphyry. And we do that, that should lift the overall grade, and obviously that will add to the overall size of this historic resource, which again is already huge at 650 million tons.
Yeah, I was gonna say this thing just keeps getting bigger. So thanks for the update, Brian. I'm sure we'll keep updated with you throughout the year, and we're excited to get geared up with this project. So thanks for coming on again, Brian.
Thanks, Colton. Appreciate the time.